and feel very immense to introduce a very renowned person of economic fraternity, Dr. Sri Prakash. Dr. Sri Prakash, he has an awardee of Kautilya Award of UPUE and J.K. Mehta Award for Research and Teaching. He also has a citation of the honor of Atal Bihari Vajpayee Memorial Award in Economic Development 2021 by Indian Economic Association. Dr. Sri Prakash obtained master's degree in economics from University of Allahabad, UP, and obtained PhD from University College of Wales, UK. He has a very long teaching and research experience. He has published 12 books and 270 research papers, including 61 papers published in foreign journals. Dr. Sri Prakash has served at various institutions of national importance. He is among 3 scholars who alone have analyzed private demand for education in the world. His book on cost of education is among a couple of books available on this topic. His book on expenditure on education theory, growth and application is the only book on the subject. He has developed both theory and models of educational expenditure with application of Indian data. He is among about a dozen econometricians of education recognized internationally. His study on literacy and development is a significant contribution to the subject. He successfully guided 28 PhD and 12 MPhil scholars. He has been visiting professor at various foreign universities. He has contributed many papers and chaired sessions at several international conferences. He has been consultant to UNICEF, UNESCO and World Bank. His last 3 books are Theory of Consumer Behavior and Dynamics of Underdevelopment of Uttar Pradesh, Public Expenditure and Growth, a comparative study of India and Tanzania. Dr. Sri Prakash worked as a secretary, Input-Output Research Association, India, member of IIC-IIMT, Vienna, Vice President, Northeast India Geographical Society, member governing body, Northeast India Council of Historical Research, member Task Force, Planning Commission, Regional Agricultural Development, Expenditure on Education, Special Invitee to Financial Commission for the Allocation of Funds to Education, Director. Director Long Term Land Use Project, that is Planning Commission. This August gathering of academicians is privileged to honor you, sir, with its coveted award named after late Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, former Prime Minister of India. We're really proud of you, sir. Give a great thanks.
आपसे मैं जानना चाहूँगा, पहली बात मंच पर सम्मान्य उपस्थित सज्जनों, देवियों, सहयोगियों, छात्र एवं छात्राओं, लाभालाभ जया जय, यश अपयश पूरा श्लोक नहीं है, लेकिन उसका सारांश देता है कि millions of people are born daily, live and die, unknown, unsung, unhonored. A few have the good fortune to get honor in their lifetime. You might have heard a person who died nearly 10 years ago has been awarded Nobel Prize in Economics for his work that was published in 1939. He did not have good fortune to get it in his life. Similarly, I am reminded Professor Gautam Mathur, PhD from Cambridge University and was Director Institute of Manpower Research, currently known as National Institute of Labour Economics, Research and Development. He has developed a balanced growth model of population, education, employment and economy. he was working with artificial hypothetical numbers. So on one occasion it so happened that 3 Mathur, my guide, late Professor P.N. Mathur, Professor M.V. Mathur, former director of Jaipur University and director and founder of Asian Institute of Education, and Professor Gautam Mathur, who was director of IMR at that time. In a workshop, and Professor Munish Raza, I was also one of the invitees. I came from North Eastern Hill University, Shillong. Then Professor Gautam Mathur asked me whether you can translate my ideas into input-output mode. I said yes. So we had a very special arrangement. Whenever I was spending about 20 days in New Shillong as professor and head, and nearly 10 days due to professional engagement I was out of Shillong. I was teaching 3 papers: microeconomic theory, mathematical economics and econometrics. Last 2 papers I introduced there as a professor and head. Not many things, innovative things we did there. So I said yes, I will be happy. And why I am mentioning it, we used to have 60 lectures, 40 to 60 lectures per semester per subject. At the end of the year, when the things came to me, on my table I found I was delivering 80 lectures per semester, whereas my colleagues were 40, 45. Why I am mentioning it? When you accept the professional responsibility to do something which is outside your responsibility within the organization you are associated with, please don't compromise with your official duties. That's why I am mentioning it. Because I had worked in the adjoining institute, Birla Institute of Management Technology, as Dean Research and Professor of Eminence. Took voluntary retirement in 2016. Otherwise, we had with B.K. Birlaji, so long as I want to work, I could continue, but I thought enough is enough. But I did not know that I would be, entrapped again and again. I took voluntary retirement from NEPA under MHRA in 1998. I was hauled up by UGC. So I want to rest and spend peaceful time as a retiree. But somehow or the other, the professional course somehow induced me that I should not say no, because I owe it to the next generation. What I have got is not due to myself, due to my teachers, right from class 1 to my PhD guide at Wales University, late Professor P.N. Mathur, my colleagues, friends, and above all, my research scholars. Whatever little I know I have been able to do has been the contribution of all of them. And I am very happy that Dr. Rebecca has been honored here, because when I was asked to accept the responsibility of being the chief editor of Quarterly Journal of Indian Economic Association titled Indian Journal of Economy and Policy, Dr. Indu Varshney, A.K. Tomar and others, they have happily accepted. And I am very happy to say that Professor Sonia Dheer is not here. She is my right hand, and the lady sitting there is my left hand. I suppose that this is a small gathering. Both of them will be getting due honor on 12th of this month when we have a webinar on a very exciting topic. जब मैं यहाँ आ रहा था, अब यहाँ ग्रेटर नोएडा में काम करने के बाकी बहुत आपके यहाँ भी मैं दूसरी बार आया हूँ, पहली बार नहीं आया। और आज मैं एक पेशोपेश में था। मैं समझता हूँ कि आपको अगर मैं हिंदी में आपके साथ वार्तालाप करूँ तो ज़्यादा कंफर्टेबल होंगे या अंग्रेजी में ज़्यादा का, प्लीज़ अपनी ओपिनियन बताइए। ओके फाइन। सो I was in a state of, flux. Should I speak on a paper article that I have been a regular contributor to the Arunachal Pradesh Times. There we have published an article titled Budget of Central Government 2022. There we have very objectively analyzed what are the limitations, what are the strong points, SWOT analysis you can call it, all the strengths and weaknesses. So that was one thing I should share that. Otherwise, it was suggested that I could talk on international trade of India, or trade policy of India, or the present scenario, etc., etc. But when I was told that the audience will be comprising the undergraduate students of this institute, I thought that I should talk on something which may be of direct interest to them. So, and I will keep the things as simple as possible. Okay. Now, first thing I will say, please note it. It is a very important point. Ignorance is bliss. अज्ञान की अवस्था बहुत सुखद अवस्था होती है। जितना कम ज्ञान होगा उतना हमें आराम होगा। Less we know, more is our ignorance, more comfortable we feel. But greater the stock of knowledge you have, greater shall be the realization of your own ignorance, what you do not know. So, once you become aware of what you do not know, you become restless. So here I will like to emphasize something that, and I am saying it without any fear of contradiction, and I know some of my colleagues will not be happy about what I say. People claim a specialization in human resources without having an adequate idea where from this branch of knowledge is coming. Who were the major contributors to it? I will cite a simple personal example. I was doing my PhD thesis and I reviewed the contribution right from Aristotle onwards up to say 1974. And there happened a name T.W. Schultz as the father of economics of education or economics of human resources. I have reviewed his work also, and in my PhD thesis I wrote, while I was reading T.W. Schultz in one of his articles published in Journal of Political Economy, he wrote that the ideas of economists like Alfred Marshall and pervading influence of Alfred Marshall persuaded the economists, contemporary and past and future economists, not to recognize the importance in investment in men. When it came to Alfred Marshall, Principles of Economics written by him in 1991 had been a textbook across the globe up to 1930, and he had been a pet author of mine. So I started searching and I found that there is an appendix 5 in Marshall's Principles of Economics where he is reviewing the evolution of the concept of capital, and Fisher has developed a model, rate of returns to investment. When he came to review this model, he said this idea of rate of return is too mathematical, TOO, too mathematical and too abstract to be of any practical use in the marketplace. भाई मैं इन्वेस्ट करने जा रहा हूँ तो कैलकुलेटर लेकर तो नहीं जाऊँगा, रेट ऑफ रिटर्न क्या होगा, प्रेजेंट क्या है, फ्यूचर में क्या होगा, और सारा मैथमेटिक्स इन्वॉल्व और स्टैटिस्टिक्स इन्वॉल्व है in it. So he quoted that, look here, this is what Marshall wrote, obliterating the entire context that he was not talking about investment in human resources. He was talking about the model of rate of returns to investment. So in my thesis I wrote that perhaps I don't assume that a person like T.W. Schultz had not studied Marshall, either oversight or deliberate. He has written this. The fact of the matter is that Alfred Marshall recognized 15 forms of contribution to education and health, that is human resource development, in his book Principles of Economics, Industry and Trade, which came in 1990. And here again, in management, teachers will come and teach you that Taylor was the founder of management science. It's totally wrong. I will suggest that please get hold of the book written by Dr. C.B. Gupta, former principal of Commerce College, Shriram College of Commerce, Delhi University, founder of IIMT Ghaziabad and founder of BIMTech. Entrepreneurial Development, Evolution of Concept and Theory. The book is available. If you don't get it, you will visit BIMTech library, you will get it and you will find what is the role and what is the importance of that. And I will also say, if you this is freely available on internet, Industry and Trade and Principles of Economics, you will find. And I wrote a book on cost of education, 102 pages of review of literature, and I have written that 102 pages, 15 pages are occupied by the contribution of Alfred Marshall. And I have suggested to Rebecca Donald Trump, okay, that she should undertake a study of investment in bearing and rearing children in India. This is one of the subjects on which Marshall wrote, and estimated 88 million pounds were invested in child bearing and rearing in United Kingdom in 1880. Now, how come and you say that he did not recognize the investment in men? He estimated also the contribution of migrant workers to the economy of United Kingdom. That was again about 18 million pounds. So, you know, this is the sort of the thing, if somebody comes and tell you, I would say not Taylor, but Alfred Marshall was the founder of management science, organization, enterprise. He was the person who recognized an organization and all that does not come through. And if you are interested in human resources, there is another OECD sponsored a global project. They have come out with 4 volumes on economics of human resources. So this is by way, you know, background. Now I will come to what is population. Population is the fountain, is the mother of all the human resources and human capital in any country. But what is population? We have distinguished several categories of Indians. Indians living in India, people of Indian origin living abroad, people of Indian origin but citizens of other countries. The citizens are those persons. So I have observed in many organizations that faculty members have to, some organization will say, I won't name, भैया इतने लोगों का एडमिशन करा दो, this is not an institute in that category. इतने लोगों का तुम्हारी रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, इतने लोगों को एडमिशन के लिए ले आओ, तुम्हें हम ये अपॉइंटमेंट दे देंगे. तो किस टाइप का आप टीचिंग कितना कर रहे हैं, कितनी रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, हाउ मेनी पेपर्स यू हैव published, how many books you have written, how many answer sheets you are examining, how many lectures you have taken. So, I mean, this is the type of the workload. And similarly, in every job, there is a sort of workload. Say, for example, somebody is an assistant manager. And assistant manager's prescribed qualification is PGDBM or MBA at the entry point. But the person who is PhD is employed on this job. he is over or she is overqualified. Right? So when we match these, we find three categories: the actual experience, actual knowledge, actual qualifications, professionals and formal. They are more than the desired qualifications, prescribed qualifications. In that case, you are underutilizing the skills, knowledge and the capabilities of the men. This is not an optimum utilization of manpower or human capital. Okay, but there are persons, if there is a scarcity of a particular, say for example, digitalization is something new. And digital economy, there are a lot of things which are new to be done, and somebody may be having some, from some shop or somewhere, somebody might have obtained the training and is employed. So he or she is underqualified but gets the job which carries higher salary, higher designation and greater degrees of responsibility. That person is overutilized and underqualified for that. So this is also a mismatch, and this is not a provision of academia. Okay. So those who are interested in human resources or human resource development, overqualified, underqualified, exactly are those people where the qualifications, experience and knowledge, they match the requirement of the job. They come in the diagonal of the matrix like that. One-to-one correspondence. Any one of you can, if you carry out the survey, say for example, somebody has the PhD degree, say for example, PhD in Hindi, and working as a teacher in primary school. Sagar University at one point of time was, producing 50 to 60 PhD degrees in Hindi department, and many of them were forced to accept a job in primary schools or nursery schools. So these are the people who are overqualified and they are underpaid and their capacity is underutilized. Now, last but not the least, I would like to suggest, for you people, you will be going for projects, summer projects. Will you be interested in working out investment and employment generated by metros? We have a metro line in Noida also, Greater Noida also, Ghaziabad also. You can visit a couple of stations and ask them how much money has been from the headquarters, how much money has been invested in the fixed capital, in the operational capital, what is the turnover, how many persons are traveling, and how many persons are employed in different categories. This is a topic which has not been touched by anyone. Take it from me. You visit a hospital and conduct a survey in the neighborhood, the households where you find a lady is in the family state is pregnant. How many deliveries have taken in hospital? How many deliveries have taken in the house? What is the cost in the hospital? Rebecca will directly be interested in it. She is already conducting a survey on this type of, not exactly this. And how many persons are employed for that type of job? You could do a wonderful job. I can tell you this is not the part of existing stock of knowledge on human resources. And I will say, and God bless you, ईश्वर आपको शतायु दे, पूर्ण स्वास्थ्य प्रदान करे, प्रसन्नता, हैप्पीनेस प्रदान करे सभी कलीग्स को, सभी छात्र छात्राओं को, सभी सहयोगियों को और सभी मित्रों को। धन्यवाद। जय श्री कृष्ण।